So I guess I started my journey working in the professional development space, professionally, at Penrith City Council. I was doing a lot of grassroots community engagement, and that's where I got the sense of really the human connections with the community. I learned so much from them. I learned so much from my colleagues at Penrith. I learned skills in engaging, but it really drew me to where I am today. And I want to continue, I guess, advocating for the community. You know, I learned so much back then, but now I'm here at Western Sydney Community Forum. Yeah, so I guess this was during a couple months in when I was working at Penrith. One of my colleagues had done a program at Western Sydney Community Forum, and she told me about it, and that the program she told me about was really special, and I think it really resonated with where I wanted to be in terms of leadership. So it was a program called Generation Community, which, funny enough, that I'm leading now, was a program about building or developing leadership skills, navigating through complex space of the community sector. And I saw that as being young and trying to add voice and advocate, it was super difficult. Having little experience or less experience, and I guess the program that I went on to do was a 6-month program that really built those concepts, skills, and really built my confidence in terms of being able to better advocate for community. It really broadened my knowledge of systems thinking, and I connected with a lot of people there. It drew me to this organisation especially. This is why I'm working here at the moment. And that was my first taste of what this organisation was about, and the values and what they do and their approaches in terms of making change. And yeah, it broadened my knowledge a lot in this industry, and it took me to where I am today. It's quite similar, to be honest. The content is similar. Because it's in my hands now, it's still the baby of West Sydney Community Forum. I'm able to kind of shift it in terms of how I want it to evolve, you know, because I find the content that I learned is still relevant to the industry now, and the complexity to navigate as a young leader, an emerging leader within this area is still relevant till today. Well, I'll go back to relevancy. I find the content that I did back then, which was a couple of years back, I think in 2019, so pre-COVID I did it, but the content still is relevant till today, you know, even during COVID, the complexity around it.
It was all
relevant.
COVID.
The content that I learned about leadership and the complexity around it was pre-COVID, but even after COVID, it's still relevant to young leaders, you know, navigating through this space. Even more so now that we've had that complexity even was more detrimental because of COVID, you know, and you see a lot of organisations going through restructures and young leaders trying to navigate through that. So I guess it's more relevant now more than ever, especially this content that I learned about leadership and learning how to navigate that as a young leader through those systems and through those organisational change. You know, and that's the big part of the program is to navigate through organisational change or any disruption that happens within your space of where you work. It's now more important than ever to learn about this kind of stuff, and I really want to kind of continue promoting this program to young leaders because what I learned from it was very valuable to where I am today, and I've built a lot of confidence across the years. Since learning how to navigate and since learning the language around and broadening that language and learning, I guess, the concepts around why things were happening this way or why it's just not myself in this space. It's a broader system that I have to navigate through, as a young person. So yeah, it's I think that program was really great in terms of my learning journey and my progression of where I am today.
And where would you like to be in 10 years' time?
Still working in this space. Hopefully not working in this space, I think there's a saying that we want to work ourselves out of the job because, we're working on social issues that, shouldn't really exist, as humans, and we've come to this point where there's so much complexity, so much disadvantage, so much things happening, and I want to be at that point where I work myself out of the job and not be able to, I guess, I want to do best with the community. I want to do best for my communities that I work with. So if you say 10 years time, I don't want to be working in this space anymore because there's no more issues. That's a very utopian view of the world, but it's a dream, and I'd rather dream big. That's very. Yeah, well, in 10 years' time, I want to work myself out of this industry, in this community sector. Everything I do is trying to uplift community. So my dream is to be able to have that realised in communities, so they have they're able to thrive. So they don't have that experience that I had when I was younger in terms of racism, in terms of discrimination. I want to see community live without that. And that's a big dream, but one can dream.